Okay, people, so it's March 4th, 2018. I'm under pressure. Now, what it is I have a few extra apples kicking around, and Andre and I, we really like the apple juice. So I'm making the apple juice before these apples get too far gone. Which is good because it will last for a few days for me, right? And then I get $1 a bag, right? Like a bag of apples for $1. So if I make up these will be good for the week. And so anyway, I want to talk about the house. Now if the camera's flashing, I can't see because I'm peeling apples, right? Just touch base on the house. What's happening is I'm being accused of running a scam. And I'm in a house full of hustlers. Serious. I think what happened was, in the past, when people would rent out houses to people that are high risk, sometimes those situations didn't work out very good. So I've been accused of banking $1,500 a month, when in fact we're starting to get in the hole, and we're not even into month 2 yet. We're just going into month 2. Right? Not everybody's paying their rent, you know, and then the ones that are don't want to pay at all, so I'm having to give back money, right? Because it was $500 per person, with the hydros included, cable and whatnot, telephone, and have house money, right, for toilet paper and that kind of stuff. So currently we're at $375, but not everybody's paying their rent on time, right? Having to give back money because the government giving too much money, because not everybody wanting to pay $5, so it comes off their support, so we're giving back their support money. Landlord is asking me to become the property manager and have everything sign over to the foundation, where the foundation just pays his rent. And then the foundation pays the bills. He's paying some bills are in my name, right? Hydro's in my name, telephone's in my name. So when they come in, I'm going to give them to the landlord, and he's going to pay them. And then he's going to give me back my bills. And then I'm going to post that to the foundation. As some people are threatening to call the cops on me. You know, have people come beat me up, right? Because they think I'm running a scam, right? It's just stupid. Kind of stupid, people. Right? I don't know. It's only temporary. Right? Having problems with my daughter. She's not getting better. Right? She needs more intensive intervention or something with her. Right? So, I'm going to write it all down to the Premier, people. I'm going to let the Premier know what I'm doing. Right? And what I'm having to face. Right? In terms of housing people, right? With the high cost of housing them, right? And the added costs, right? And the drama and the trauma that comes around it, right? I'm the one doing all the bookkeeping at this point, right? So it's like extra work. And because everything is so like this, right? It just, I'm having to do it 3 times over just to understand what the hell I'm doing, right? So they're keeping it clean, that's for sure, to the best of their ability, right? No fighting. Hasn't been any major fights. I mean, some arguments and a little bit of hollering here and there, but you know, that goes on in every house to some degree, right? Some people are moving out, just moved in, but when they say they're moving out, they're not moving out. Everybody's setting their own rules, as if the house has no rules. Right? So, you know, I don't know if they're fully aware that, you know, the clock is ticking. There's not a lot of time in order to, you know, iron things out, right? In terms of, you know, making a schedule and having a budget and, you know, bringing in more productive habits into your life versus staying in the same habit, right? Recreating the same comfort zone. I notice they hide out in their bedrooms a lot, so it's like a comfort zone. When you come from a tent, you're always in a tent, right? So, mind you, spring is coming, right? Get a little warmer, so hopefully they'll use the living room more versus hibernating, right? So, do I want to do it again? Well, this is what I tell myself, people. I look to my daughter, right? And I tell myself, what is better? Doing what I'm doing right now with the prospect of getting better at it in terms of, you know, just hopefully everything will stable out and, you know, everybody will jump on the same page and act responsibly, right? So that we can move forward together as a group, right? And through that process, obviously, my daughter should be involved with that, right? So what's better? Me sitting here struggling with trying to put books together in terms of accounting books to keep track of everything, right? So that you can build in a better system. And I already asked the board director to the foundation, Gurdev, to hook me up with his accountant, right? Once I get a little more of an understanding of what I'm doing, and then have the accountant look at it, and then the accountant can adjust it in terms of how to post it correctly in the ledgers. Because you're dealing with more than one ledger because you're dealing with multiple people, right? So each person gets their own ledger, and then you bring it to the main ledger. And, you know, it's my eyes are going on me, people. It's hard, right? Now, if we continue doing what we're doing, and then we get down to a point where we actually have a system, then there's a couple of people in the house that are willing to try and import that accounting system onto a computer and then do it by computer, right? So how that happens, I don't know yet. All I know is I'm the one doing all the work, basically. All right? And I'm having to badger people for their rent, some of them, which makes me look like the bad guy, right? Because I'm always like, when's the rent? Where's the rent, right? Or in this other instance, I'm arguing with somebody that said they were going to move out and then didn't move out, and you know, and because I need to know what the hell is going on. Then it turns out his rent was mailed to the landlord, and I didn't know that, and then I found out that it was, and you know, next thing you know, he's accusing me of, I don't know, making all this money and ripping people off. And he went and talked to the police. I said, that's fine. They were just outside my house the other day, 4 of them. Right? They're cruising up and down the fucking road all the time. I don't think it's because of my house. I'm not worried about that. They know where I live. They watch my videos from time to time, people. They've known about me for a long time. Alright? They got bigger fish to fry. Trust me. They got bigger fish to fry. And I'm going to help them fry them. Some of those fish. Not all of those fish, but some of those fish. Alright? I told these people there too. I said, I'm writing the premier. And the what you call it? Attorney General. So, you know. Just because of what's going on over there doesn't stop me from doing that, right? My daughter is part of the story in terms of lack of health care, right? And, you know, she needs something. She's hoarding rocks in her room. There's some behavior about her that's just not right. Right? And, so anyway, I am making apple juice for my grandson. And I'm cleaning up my kitchen and clearing it out a bit because I want to get into some cooking, like actual cooking, like I used to do back in the good old days. You know, make cakes and that kind of stuff, right? Homemade macaroni, that's really nice. Some nice casseroles or something, right? So I figure I'll do that. You know, just kind of stay with the program, right? And putting in my head how I'm going to put this information forward to the Premier, right? And you never know. He might take a liking to the foundation people. I mean, when I started off, I did start off under the NDP, right? It was the NDP that made me feel, as a Canadian and as a person living in British Columbia, that I was able to do anything in terms of a non-profit. Because back in those days, we had a really strong union province, right? It was the strongest of all of Canada. And the child poverty rate was lower than what it is today. And people in general lived better, and just as a, you know, like just living, right? They could live, unlike today, right? Now you need 8 to 9 people in one 4-bedroom rancher just to be able to afford the basic household operations of a house, right? If you were to live in a house. And even then, there's no guarantee you're going to get your rent. Because when you get into those numbers, right, people, they formulate in their own head what they think is coming in, but they don't realize what's going out, and they don't think about where you're going to go after that place is done with, right? So in other words, this place is only good for like another 5 more months or so, right? Assuming that the landlord stays on schedule with, you know, building his new home. Anything could happen, but, you know, you stick with what you agreed to. And, you know, at the rate that I'm going, I don't know if I want to go into another house and have to fight for just simple things. And so that remains to be seen. But being that the Premier is going to be looking at the non-profit, right? And you never know. You never know what might come out of that. Because so far, it's working to the best of its, you know, it's better for me to be fussing around with these books and having to argue with complete strangers for whatever reason, and have at least some kind of shelter over my daughter's head while I figure out what the hell is wrong with her and how I can get the right kind of help for her through the healthcare system. As, you know, they follow up on Uncle John and what happened there with him through the healthcare system. Because there are a lot of old people that are coming in through the system that are very, very vulnerable to the very things that I've been talking about for the last 3 years. And so anyway, I'm just going to leave it on that. It's kind of a bitch fest right now. I don't really have nobody to talk to. You know, like for example, okay, I got a couple of people that have just recently planted themselves. One tends to be a little more argumentative than the other. Anyway, I offered him $50 to fix my fence because I'm tired, right? And like, I've already cut him slack. I don't owe him shit, right? But for some reason, he seems to think I do. But besides that point, I still offered him to fix, asked him if he could fix my fence. And I offered to pay him $50. Because that's all I can afford, and I can't even really afford $50. I'm $350 behind on my Visa. And they just called yesterday and unplugged my phone so I don't have to be bothered about it till tomorrow. Right? Otherwise, they'll call 4 times a day asking for that money. Right? They're answering. They're automated. Right? All I have to do is just say, yeah, I'll pay it by such time. Call me in 3 weeks from now. I just gave you $400. Right? Call me in 4 weeks from now. Right? So, anyway, I offered him $50. And he told me that he'd think about it because it was a big job. It was going to take some time. And I'm like, okay, so for everything that I've done for you, let you have fucking shelter. And he didn't pay, right? He lived there. He came in on the 24th or something. Didn't start until the 1st of March. So he lived there for like 5-6 days. Him and his buddy, right? That's when they started moving in, right? Into their arrangement. And I didn't ask, right? To be backdated, right? And I don't know. No. So, I guess the weather's breaking. And I'll have to go out there and fix my own damn fence. Right? I gave him my power bar. Because he needed a power bar. Right? That right there is $20. Probably never see that again, but whatever. Safety first, right? So I just, little things like that. But at this point, I'm doing good. I remind myself that Uncle John would tell me that. Right? And it's just one day at a time. So I will show you what I'm going to make. See? I'm just going to cut those up. I've got a couple of strawberries. I'm going to steam them, and then after, maybe tomorrow or something, I'll make that apple crisp.